Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? Very good? I love to hear that, very good. I love to hear that all is well and unfolding as it should. Because I'm not worried about tomorrow, but today I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? That's one of my songs. I wrote that song, All is Well and Unfolding as It Should. And as a matter of fact, my new CD that I've been working on so hard for the last 6 months, it's finally out. It's finally released, and it's on iTunes now and on Amazon, and it's available for streaming. And I actually brought a couple of CDs with me today. And the name of the CD is called A Better Yesterday. And so what the heck does that mean, a better yesterday? Well, I'm going to tell you. What it means in this sense is that no matter what you've done or what you've experienced in your life, there's always an opportunity to one day at a time create a better yesterday. And that's the concept behind it is. And you do that by being grateful for each day and walking a straight line each day. And after you pile one day on top of another, on top of another, and on top of another, and another, and another, before long, you'll be looking at a past that you're proud of and create a better yesterday. So there's a song on there, it's called A Better Yesterday. Let me see. And it goes like this. And I got to tell you, there's a backstory behind this. You know, I've 26 years between drinks for me. So I haven't taken a drink in 26 years. So I have created a better yesterday for myself. Today we can take our tools in hand, carve a new path through the wreckage of the past, walk a straight line, at last to find we traded dying for living one day at a time. One step, then another, stacking one day upon the other. As we forgive ourselves, we are set free to dance the road of happiness in me. Life is giving us a chance today. Time between then and now has caused us grace. Thank God now that we've found a way to one day at a time make a better yesterday. If you knew that what you're going through, I've been through it too, what would you do? Would you talk to me? Walk with me? Let me show you a path to set you free. Sisters and brothers talking to each other, stacking one day upon the other. As we make our amends, we are set free to dance the road of happy destiny. Life is giving us a chance today. Time between then and now has caused us grace. Thank God now that we found a way to one day at a time make a better yesterday. One day at a time to make a better yesterday. One day at a time, step by step. Well, if you're here, you're in the right place this morning, I'm telling you, because you are always going to hear something that's going to carry you through the week, something that you can use. Realistic spiritualism. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy to be anywhere. Especially, I'm getting ready to go on a road trip. So next week, this is very important, you know. Bob Seema and Shannon Plummer are going to be here as your musical guest. Now, if you don't know anything about Bob Seema, just go online and check him out. You are in for a real treat. You know, him and his partner, Shannon, they are absolutely fabulous. So they're going to be here next week, and then I'll be back the following week. I'm going to Detroit to see my mother. She's 89 years old. So I need to see her as much as I can. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, St. Augustine. No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come, love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone. And someone cares for you as an individualization of divine point of view. This door, oh, this door right here is open for you. Oh, this door, I'm talking about this door. I said this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. Come on in. You're in the right place. My brothers and sisters, help me welcome our spiritual leader, the Reverend Dr. Ken Wilcox.
Thank you, Eddie. This door is open to you. No matter who you are, what you are, how you've come to us, this door is open. And what is this door for? For you knowing the best of yourself. For you recognizing yourself as Spirit sees you, as wonderful and joyful, loving, whole, a conduit for the great good that can be attracted into your life. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit is going to recognize and reward you abundantly. You know, I always ask you to do just one simple thing each Sunday morning when you come, and that is to leave all your troubles, your would've, your could've, your should've, to leave all that stuff outside. And the next 45 minutes or so, to open up an avenue of Spirit possibilities. And what are Spirit possibilities? They're more love, more joy, more happiness, more dance, more cooler weather, lesser humidity, all those things in life that make us feel alive, because that's what God is doing through you and through me, showing up in the physical, recognizing itself through our love, our joy, and our laughter. So know you're in a great place this morning, and Spirit's going to recognize and reward you abundantly. So we welcome all of you here in the sanctuary. We also welcome all of you who are joining us live. You're in a great place, and you're going to leave this talk today in some significant way, healed, blessed, and prospered. All right, Eddie, let's provide them some wonderful music.
Now, if you feel like standing and clapping your hands, I want you to do that. And if not, just stomp your feet. When we do this, we're going to say, hey. I am alive with the Spirit of God. 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 I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. Ooh, I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. Woo! Here we go. I am alive with the Spirit of God. 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 I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. Woo! I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I'm alive, y'all. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I am alive, y'all, alive with the Spirit of God. I'm alive. We are alive.
Yes, we are alive with the Spirit of God. And to get that emotion, to get that energy really to work in our lives, one great way to do it is through affirmative prayer. So right now, David Hoke is going to come up and lead us in an affirmative prayer. Come on up, David.
Am I on? Yes. All right. Yes, that is tremendous energy I feel in this room, and the energy that's been in the lobby and all my interactions this morning, I mean, I can feel it. And so I'd ask you to join me in this affirmative prayer where I can acknowledge that there is one God, there's one Spirit in this world, and that Spirit is love, that Spirit is peace, that Spirit is energy and joy and music. And I am in that flow. I feel that Spirit in me. I feel that Spirit in the people around me in this room. And I know that each of us brings our energy, our contribution to this center, to this place and this time and this gathering of people that is the Center for Spiritual Living here in St. Augustine, Florida. And I see us poised to throw our doors back open to the people that I know are being drawn to this place as I see us grow and come out of these times that we've been in, and that we're on a prosperous, great path spiritually and with our home here at the center. And I know and see these things so clearly and see that energy in all of those around us. And I put this out into spirit, knowing that it will do its good and powerful work, and it will come back to us magnified in ways that we cannot imagine at this point. And we put this into action by saying together, and so this is.
No, I'm not going to do that. All right, like I said, I just did a new CD, and there's a song I want to attempt to do. I've never played it and sang it live before, so bear with me. It may not be perfect, but I think it'll be good for right now. Looking back on this life, I'm filled with gratitude. I've come so far, and it's all because of you. And so I testify, each word is true. Every time I was tired of trying and about to break in two, I lean into you, lean into you. No matter what I'm going through, your love is what I hold on to. I lean into you, lean into you. On your rock I stand, all of the ground is just sinking sand. Every time I was breaking, every time my toe was shaking, every time I'd been mistaken, every time my heart was breaking, deep down inside, I always knew some way, somehow, I was going to make it through if I just lean into you, my God. No matter what life throws at me, greater is what relies in me. I lean into you, oh my God. I lean into you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
How can we get that CD, Eddie?
Just visit my backpack.
All right. Thank you, Eddie. That was really wonderful. So my talk this morning is working with spirit, working with spirit. I think our teaching is a little bit unique in believing that it's our role to work with spirit, that we have a role to play. We're not just waiting for spirit to rain down the blessings and goodness upon us. We've got to get our hands dirty in making the process come about. It's not that spirit needs us, but in this journey of life, it's about our stepping out to be conduit of God's love. Stepping out. We have to put some energy and courage behind it. We have to risk it. We have to risk becoming more of what Spirit has sent us to be, to leave behind our egos, our all that stuff, and to be more of the pure love that Spirit has called us to be. I loved watching my mom as she got older, later in life, and she had a whole crew of granddaughters, and she would incorporate them into helping her cook the Thanksgiving meal. And she would give them elaborate praise in their efforts, standing there in her house coat with a cigarette dangling from her lips. It was if Michelangelo was filling up a cup of Crisco for the dressing, you know. Now, Me and my sisters, she would have threatened to beat us with a serving spoon if we had gotten anywhere close to her kitchen. But her grandchildren, she loved. She loved, and she loved to keep them involved. Now, earlier when we were kids, my sisters and I, she was always known for being a great cook. And she loved organizing. She took pride in that she could cook quickly and that she could get a whole table full of food on, very well organized. But we could be no part of it. But later with the grandkids, it had shifted. And I think it was that having a fluffy cake or a moist ham just didn't matter so much to her. I think her attitude had almost become, let them chew on shoe leather because I'm having too much fun with my grandbabies. I'm not going to worry about it. Now, my mom was kind of tough as shoe leather herself, but she changed. Those grandbabies changed her. And I remember there was even a step-granddaughter who previously in my mother's early life, that would have made a difference. But this step-granddaughter needed extra love, needed extra attention. And my mom gave it to her in full measure, shaken down and overflowing. Now, she was still threatening to beat me with a serving spoon if I got close to the kitchen, but that's just how life goes. Henry David Thoreau said we should allow nothing, absolutely nothing, to stand between us and God's life. And most of the time, what stands between us and our good is our own kind of silly ideas, misguided misconceptions about ourselves and how life works. When I was in Atlanta receiving my training, I had this woman who would come to me, and she wanted love in her life. That's great, and love is easy to attract in our lives. But she wanted love in her life to be 6 foot 2 inches tall, blonde-haired, and blue eyes. That's how love was to come into her life. Well, sure, Spirit can create anything. But as I would try to remind her, it may take a little bit more time to get that particular type of love in your life. And you're missing out on a lot of fun until it shows up. Throw away your conceptions and have some fun. Because I think that's what we're here to do. We're not here just to dictate to Spirit what we want in life. That's not the way it works. I remember a couple of years ago, many years ago now, there was that movie, The Secret, came out. And they would have you to believe that, all you had to do was to stand in front of a jewelry case and imagine yourself with a diamond necklace around your neck. And bingo, bango, you would have that diamond necklace. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Because you see, the answer to the prayer is not the diamond necklace. The answer to the prayer is within the prayer. And by that, what we mean is the answer to the prayer is in us having a relationship with Spirit. Us having trust that with Spirit, the good of life will flow to us. That's the whole purpose of the journey here. It's almost as if we're in a dance with Spirit. We do the best we can with what we have, and more will be given to us. And we're going to continue in this dance throughout eternity. We're always going to be in this dance, working with the good in front of us. More will be given to us for here on. Now, it's the relationship. This the important thing. It's the relationship with Spirit. It's what we're here to develop and grow into. Because oftentimes, when our blessings show up in life, we have trouble recognizing them. The blessings don't come to us as we think they should, or in the way they should, or looking like they should. And we have trouble actually recognizing when something is a big blessing to us. get some exercise. I've been riding my bike because I'm still a little leery of going back to the gym. And so I like listening to my books on my iPhone. And it has to be kind of the right kind of book, because you want it to be interesting enough to keep your attention, but not too interesting that you'll run into a recycling can. Been there, done that. This past week, I found a series of lectures, 10 of them, from a professor at Emory University on Prince Albert. Prince Albert. It was just as riveting as it sounds. It really was. Now, Prince Albert was an amazing, wonderful guy. He was the German prince. He married Queen Victoria. He kept her happy, which was a job within itself. He basically worked himself to death. He died in his early 40s. But he accomplished so much good. He reorganized the royal family. He helped reorganize the military. He started focusing attention on the housing for the working poor, which really was horrific at that time. If you read Charles Dickens, that's pretty accurate. He had huge impacts, both small and large. One small thing that he did that we're going to kind of be seeing a lot of in a couple of months, he made Christmas trees popular with the English-speaking people. That's where we get Christmas trees. He was responsible for so many things. In a lot of ways, he was kind of like Steve Jobs. He didn't invent the stuff himself, but he pulled together really brilliant people who he could encourage and empower to create some really amazing stuff. One of the things that he did was he had organized the first World's Fair that had never happened before. He did it in London, of course, at Hyde Park. And they wanted to display the British technology. And everybody in British society fought him tooth and nail not to do this. They thought it was a horrible idea. He was going to ruin Hyde Park. He was going to bring riffraff to London. They were going to give away the British trade secrets. So he got no support. The biggest challenge of it was how to create a building large enough. It had to be 3 football fields large to contain everything they needed. Nobody knew how to do it. He brought in the best architects of the day, and their ideas were just ludicrous. They'd been too expensive, too long to build, too damaging to the environment. Then he had a brilliant idea. He didn't listen to the experts. He said, let's have a contest. So he opened himself up to a better idea, and a solution came from the most unlikely of sources. The solution came from a gardener at one of the big manor houses. And this gardener was responsible for the hothouses for the plants. And he had just recently built a hothouse for the owner of the manor. And he realized that there had been huge innovations in producing glass and steel. And he figured out you can build a big, huge building with glass and steel at a fraction of the cost. And you can do it very cheaply. It basically was a prefabbed. It was the first prefabbed building. And so they built it. It was called the Crystal Palace. It was a huge success. It was a beautiful building. It was a huge success. It was so profitable that they used the funds to build many of the museums that we see in London today. It had 2 major innovations that have stuck with us today. You don't even realize that these things had to be innovative. The first one that we're all very appreciative of is the public restroom. The public restroom. You didn't realize that came from Victorian England, did you? That's the reason they called it a restroom. The Victorians, to say, I need to go to the toilet, that would have been too offensive to them. So they called it a restroom. You don't have cots in there. But that's what worked for the Victorians. It was the first time ever that anyone had a public restroom. The building itself, out of steel and glass, was such a huge improvement. And if you go to our modern cities even today, what are structures made of? The big office towers. They're made of steel and glass. So in many ways, Albert completely revolutionized how we lived. Now, as a good and powerful forward thinker as he was, there was one flaw he had in his life. And that was he couldn't manage a relationship with his oldest son, Bertie, the heir to the throne. He really wanted to train Bertie to be basically him. That's what he wanted. And he devised an educational system that basically would pound as much knowledge and information in Bertie's heads as was possible. And I think what he did is he organized an educational system that he would have liked. Unfortunately, Bertie probably had a learning disability. And this educational process was just painful to him. And he couldn't succeed at it. And his father and his mother never neglected a moment to let him know what a huge disappointment he was. Never. When his father died, Victoria blamed Bertie for his death. She wouldn't even see him for many years. And up until she died, she continued blaming him for all the troubles of her life. Now, the interesting thing about Bertie was, when Bertie finally got away from him and went to military school, his supervisors at the military school suddenly realized, wait a minute, this kid has got some real talent. His talent was getting along with people. People loved him. He was easygoing. He was friendly. He was good to be in a crowd. And his trainers realized this, and they tried to point it out to Albert and Victoria. They weren't interested in that. They wanted what they wanted. But here's the thing. If you're going to be a king in a system and you have no political power, which they don't, if you only have the power of persuasion, then being a really likable person is a very good thing. They had a blessing, Albert and Victoria, right in front of them, but they couldn't recognize it. And although Bertie did have his share of troubles, they were compounded by the abuse he got from his parents. Their harassment made it worse. Our blessings may be right in front of us, and it's our job to be open and receptive to them and work with them as best we can. I heard a saying this week that said, any land can flow with milk and honey if you will work with it. If you'll work with it. Dr. Holmes says, in spirit, our founder of our teaching, Dr. Holmes, he said we should feel that we've got a silent partner, which we can receive inspiration and guidance from, intelligence far greater than ours, which is forever urging us on to a better idea. In Scripture, it says of Jesus, he said we should seek spirit first in all things, and then everything else will be added. He didn't say we have to live in lack and limitation. He just said seek spirit first. It's the relationship that's important. And once you have that relationship, all things will be added. If you don't have that relationship, if you're just waiting on the world to supply you with things to make you feel good about yourself, you'll never get enough. Material things are not a spiritual answer. Material goods will not satisfy your spiritual longing. The only thing that will satisfy your spiritual longing is this relationship with Spirit. Knowing who you are and whose you are, that you're important, that you're valued, and that you have this partner working with you to bring about a life of love and joy, health and happiness. This is why Christ said, if you drink from this well, you'll thirst no more. The water from the well, which he is talking about, is indeed this recognition of our relationship with God. That's what we need, which we will thirst no more. And when we have that, all else will be supplied. There's an interesting story in Scripture with Isaiah. Isaiah was the prophet of the Old Testament. He was starving. He went to the widow to ask her to prepare some bread from him. And the widow explained, I'm a widow, I have very little oil. I can't give you the oil. My son and I will starve. Isaiah said, trust me. Use the oil and you'll be supplied. She cooked for Isaiah, and indeed, she couldn't outpour the oil from the container. In other words, there was always greater supply coming to her. Now, there's a part of that story that they leave out most of the time when they're talking about it, because later on, the widow's son dies, but Isaiah raises him from the dead. If she had not provided the oil for Isaiah and the son would have died, the oil would have been of no value to her at all. She would have not cared anything for the oil. It was in her giving that she was able to receive a huge blessing. We have to know that there is an intelligence that wants us to live the best life possible. But we got to be flexible about it. We can't just assume that we're the smart enough to know how we can receive what we need to grow. We've got to be grateful for what's coming our way. Jesus said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. Dr. Holmes says, the divine visitor is ourselves, and we're the one who both knocks and answers the knocking. We're one with both of those, the knocking and the answer. Spirit greeting spirit. And it is in this joy of recognition that we achieve our oneness. Dr. Holmes says, every cell of our body, every thought of our mind, every glory of our spirit dwells in the very center of the one God. That's where we've come from, that's where we have our being, and that is where we can produce this wonderful, loving, and joyful life that we're all seeking. We are not here alone. You have not been abandoned. The Spirit of God is with you. It is urging you on. So this morning, know for yourself that you've got something powerful and good to do, and that you're working with something powerful and good. And that's the creator of the whole universe. That power which set the rings of spirit into motion is working in your life to bring about greater health, more love, more joy, more prosperity. That power is working with you so we can create a brighter and bolder new day, when we can leave behind all this fear and this turmoil, when we can let go of all this stress, a day free of anger. And I know we are not going to be alone. We're going to be there with Spirit, and we're going to join in the chorus of angels proclaiming a great new day for ourselves. This dawn is breaking, and it is up to us to recognize it, welcome it, and know that it has been a part of our unfolding soul. It's what we've come to do. Spirit has faith in you. I have faith in you. All of the universe is standing, urging you on to proclaim the great goodness of your heart and love. It's ours to do, and now's the time. It's the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. This place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
There's a beautiful garden of our soul, and that garden has been gifted to us by Spirit, and we're here to grow it. We're here to maintain it and to let the best of it bloom forward. And that's what we're doing here today. And when we support our center, and now's the time we focus on that a little bit, there's a box here you can make a contribution. We can know that whatever you give, you're not going to outgive God. You're not going to outgive God. You know, I've told you so many times before, when this pandemic first hit us, one of the things that we were so convinced of here is that we were going to keep this place going. And we've never wavered in that one moment. Even when we had services outside and it was so hot, the chairs almost were sticking to the asphalt. And we came back in, there was only 20 people. We've kept this place going, and I'm so grateful that the support that we received has allowed us to keep going, and we are going to keep it going. We are going to be that bright, wonderful light of God's possibility. We're going to continue doing our works to help women fleeing violence. We're going to continue doing our work helping feed families who are hungry. We're going to continue doing our work encouraging students with disabilities who want to go on to get greater education. We're going to do that because that's what Spirit has called us to do, and that's not even half of what we're going to do once we're through with all of this fear and turmoil. We're going to become like that wonderful lighthouse over there on the shore. We're going to send out a beacon of hope and love and inspiration to many people who are out wandering the dark waters of turmoil, saying, here is a place where you can come and know something better for yourself. So we always encourage you to give in both consciousness and coin. Consciousness is doing great prayer work. Seeing this center full on Sunday morning, seeing a choir of 25 people singing behind Eddie, seeing our youth program full, seeing us being able to give more to the community. And of course, coin is financial support, and we appreciate that, and we need that as well. whichever of those gifts you're giving us this morning, if you will, take that and place your hand over your heart and read with me this affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance as I freely and joyfully give. I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. If you'd like to text a donation, you can do it to that number as well. You will be wonderfully supplied with whatever you give. Thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Sing along with me. Yes. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So this morning, I'm going to conclude our service with an affirmative prayer. It's nothing more than praying as Jesus prayed, praying, believing. So I'm going to do this prayer in the first person. Take it in for yourself. If I say something that works for you, hold tight to that. If I say something that doesn't work for you, well, just let that part slide by. But just know this truth with me this morning. There is but one God and one mind and one power. And that power created me through a perfect idea. And that power has never been disappointed, has never been angry, has never been upset. That power has far more been impressed with my possibilities than it's ever been upset over my mistakes. So this morning, I know I am blessed. This morning in this room, surrounded by all these wonderful, loving people, I am grateful that I have a place to come to that will remind me that I can lift my eyes to a better knowing for myself. I am grateful that I have loving family and loving friends, that I have an intelligence that is encouraging me to move on through this night, to move on through this storm, that a brighter day is coming. That on the horizon there breaks a beautiful, bold dawn. And that bold dawn is a new day, a new possibility for myself, for this community, for our nation and the world. We have not come to life to suffer. We're not here to live in lack and limitation. We're not here to experience disappointment and failure. We're here to know that we are powerful. We're here to know that we are victors. We're here to know that we are beloved by God Almighty and that we have been created to live the very best. We have been created to live in oneness with God. We are here to know that we are important and that we are valued and that we can have the milk and honey of God's love flowing through us here, now, in this moment, in this lifetime, that we are loved and valued by God Almighty. This is my truth. I celebrate, I rejoice in it. Every cell of my being radiates this right knowing, and I release this prayer into the mind of God to do its good and perfect, bold and dynamic work, returning to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you with one last idea. Your life. Your life, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a miracle unfolding. Your job this week is to go name your miracle, proclaim your miracle, and to make it your own. God bless us all. Now let us go be the miracle God has called us to be. This is Reverend Ken with Eddie Watkins Jr. Until we see each other again, many blessings.
Please stand and join me for the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the
the peace that was meant to be with God as creator. Family are we. Let us walk with each family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Namaste. God bless you.